Hi, my name is Dale Guiducci. I'm the owner and founder of ERA Credit Services, and we've developed a very successful business over the last couple of years in San Diego as well as around the country. And I get calls almost every day, several times a week, from people that are looking to start up their own credit restoration business. And it's a daunting task figuring out what kind of business model is right for the particular individual, all the federal and state regulations that are required to start up a business, and just all the different aspects of how to build a business that is right for a particular individual. So what I'm going to do today is just run through some of the things that you need to think about when you're starting a credit restoration business. Now, of course, we run a particular business model. So my objective here is to not necessarily steer you in the direction of our business model, because there are people that have the right qualifications and time and investment money to work in another business model, and that's fine. But for the right individual, the right person, the person that fits our business model, I'd definitely like to talk to you a little bit further about what we do and how you could fit into it and benefit and prosper with our business model. But I'm going to give you the options for really all three. So first, let's talk about what are your business model choices. Well, the first one is a startup business. That means you start from scratch. You put everything together. We're going to go over some of the aspects of what you need to put together in order to have a substantial business model. In other words, a business that you can go out into the marketplace and stand up against the competition, develop credibility in the marketplace so you can start driving some sales, of course. And then we're going to talk about the franchise options that are available out in the marketplace. And then we're going to talk about the agency business model, which is what we've chosen to do. So how do you choose between startup, franchise, and agency? Well, let's look at some of the things you need to consider. First of all, what are your goals? What are your personal goals? Not my goals, not somebody else's goals, but what are your goals? How about income? What kind of income do you want to produce? Is this a part-time business? Do you just want to earn an extra few $100s a month maybe? Do you want to earn an extra 1,000 a month? Or do you want to earn, 4,000 or 5,000 a month? Do you want to earn even more? Do you want to build a substantial business? So that's something that you have to decide for yourself, is what is your income goals and what kind of time frame? So in other words, you're going to start up a business, and you may not, obviously, when you start up your own business, be earning the income in your first, second, third, sixth month that you eventually want to earn a year or two down the road. So what is your time frames? And then time, your personal time. How many hours a day, how many hours a week do you have to devote to building a business? And the answers to both of those questions are going to be really great signs as to what kind of business model you want to choose. So secondarily, what is your skill set and what do you like to do? You don't want to start up a business that requires a skill set that you don't necessarily have and requires you to do things that you don't necessarily like to do. That would be buying yourself a job that you don't like. So why would you do that? So you've really got to assess yourself. Do you have sales skills? Do you have marketing skills? Do you have administrative skills? Do you enjoy interacting with people, developing relationships with people? Are you a savvy marketer? Do you know how to market into your local marketplace? Do you know how to do any internet marketing? So those are things that you need to consider. And then what's your admin abilities? What's your admin likes and dislikes? Personally, I don't like to do a lot of admin work. I don't like to do a lot of paperwork. That's not my forte. That doesn't make me happy. That doesn't get me excited to get out of bed in the morning. But some people, it does. They want to do all the admin work. So what is the admin work in credit restoration? Well, you're looking at analyzing credit reports. And then on top of analyzing credit reports, you are then drafting dispute letters and communicating with the credit bureaus, and you're tracking all this information for your customers. You're tracking payments from your customers. You're keeping in touch with your customers. All that kind of work you have to consider. Do you want to be strapped to a desk and do that? Or you are more comfortable doing the sales and marketing piece? So what is the sales skills necessary? Well, you can't just build a credit restoration business. You have to know how to sell that business against what? Against your competition. What's your pricing structure? What's your track record? I mean, when you start talking to your first few customers, what are you going to tell them? When they ask you, what is your track record? How good are you? And you can say, well, you're my first customer, or I just got started last month. That's a challenge. That's a hurdle to overcome. And then marketing. How are you going to go out and market your business? Do you know how to market a credit repair business effectively, because people think they have to have thousands and thousands of dollars to market a credit restoration business, and it's simply not true. If you're a smart, savvy marketer and you truly understand credit repair and how to get the business out there, it doesn't cost you hardly any money at all to market and build a very, very successful credit restoration business. So let's talk about money. How much can you invest? I mean, there's startup costs. If you're going to start up your own business, you've got to have a lot of different substantial things that you need to invest in, build, and develop. We're going to talk about those in just a second. Then you might have marketing costs unless you know how to market a business, a credit restoration business, without a lot of marketing dollars. And then if you're going to do both the admin and the sales and marketing, well, that's going to be extremely difficult. How are you going to do all three of those things and build a very large business? So you might have to hire staff. You might have to hire admin staff. You might have to hire a sales staff. So all these things need to be considered. So let's move on and talk about the specific types of business models. So let's talk about starting your own credit restoration business, basically from scratch. Well, the first thing we all need to be concerned with is federal and state laws and regulations. So talking about the federal laws for a second, the law that you need to pay most attention to with regard to starting up your business is the Credit Repair Organizations Act. CROA. People in the business call it CROA. You got to look at CROA. And what CROA says that if you're in business as a for-profit company, you cannot charge upfront fees for credit restoration. You can only charge after the service has been performed. So now what are you going to do? Because now you're investing all this money in your business and you got to wait to get your cash flow. You got to wait to get paid from your customers until you perform the work. Can you afford to do that? Can you afford to start up all these services for your customers and wait 3, 4, 5 months to get paid? Or can you afford to go to the monthly payment model, which many, many companies out there have? But understand, if you're going to go to the monthly payment model, you're probably going to have to understand that you are going to have to delay the completion of credit restoration. Why? So that you can get a lot of monthly fees from your customers in order to make money, in order to have a profit margin. If you were charging monthly fees and you fixed everyone's credit in 60 or 90 days, you'd probably go out of business because you're not generating enough money. So that's a conundrum. And you have to figure that out. And then with regard to state laws, you have to understand, is there a bond required with your particular state? In the state of California, it's a $100,000 surety bond. It typically costs around $6,000 or $7,000 per year. Do you have that kind of investment? So that's a big consideration. And then software. You want to have some software to be able to generate dispute letters, analyze credit reports. You want to have a website. You have to have a website today. And typically, you want to have a website where your clients can log in and see a report on what's happening with the process of the credit restoration that you're doing for them. You want to have some technology behind you. Well, all of that's going to be an investment of your time and of your money. You want to have training. Training on what? Training on sales, training on marketing, training on the admin, training on your website. There's a lot of training that's going to go in. And if you've never owned your own business before, you want to have training on building a business. It's not easy. So you got to have training. Where are you going to get that training? Are you going to open an office? If so, then you're going to have an investment in the lease and office furniture and everything that goes along with that. Or are you going to work out of a home office, which you can, certainly. But you got to make that decision. And then, of course, like I said, marketing. How are you going to market your business? Do you know how to market a credit restoration business without spending thousands and thousands of dollars in advertising? And there's a way to do it. Competition. Do you know your competition? And how are you going to sell against that competition? You've got to call these different companies in your marketplace and understand what their advantages and disadvantages are so that you can properly sell against them. You've got to have those sales skills I told you about. Do you know how to explain to somebody credit restoration? Do you know how to get information out of that particular client so that you could properly position your credit restoration service to satisfy their problems and satisfy their needs? Do you have the admin skills? We already kind of talked about that. And understand, if you're going to start your own credit restoration business from scratch, unless you want to expand in different locations and hire staff, which requires a substantial investment of money, you're going to have a limited income. Why? Because you're doing all the sales, all the marketing, and all the admin. There's only so many hours in a week, and you're going to have a very limited amount of customers, and you just got to realize that. So my conclusion on starting your own credit restoration business from scratch, not only is it not necessary, but you must have a substantial amount of time and money to invest, and also enjoy the admin work. You got to relish in that. You got to really, really like it, as well as understand that your customer base will be limited unless you expand and hire staff. So that's starting your own business from scratch. Let's talk about the franchise model. There's certainly some good companies out there. I have no reason to say that they're not good companies, but it's going to require a significant investment of anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000, and that's just to buy the franchise. That's not to set yourself up in your home office or open an office and things like that. You still need to be concerned with federal and state laws and regulations, and if you're going to consider a franchise, you need to ask them, when you buy that franchise, are you going to be able to sell and charge upfront fees? Or have they taken care of that for you? If you're going to buy a franchise and operate that franchise in a certain state, has that franchisor, have they taken care of the bond issues and the different laws and regulations in your state, or are you going to have to do that? Certainly they should provide website for you, and I believe they do. They provide training for you, and the administrative they provide. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing right there, and that's primarily what you're paying that $12,000 to $20,000 for, is the website, the training, and the admin work. But you still need to be concerned about your competition. You still need to find out about your competition and be able to properly sell against that competition, and you got to do that before you buy the franchise, because you have to understand, how are you going to get your money back? Can I charge enough in my marketplace against my competition to be able to pay my investment back? And then marketing skills. Are they going to train you on marketing? Are they going to teach you how to market? Or do you have the marketing skills necessary for this business? See, marketing credit restoration is very, very different than other types of businesses. Do you have those skills? And then sales skills. Do you have the sales skills necessary, again, to be able to explain your business and sell against the marketplace, capture a client's attention, and close that sale? And again, you're going to have limited income in this kind of a business model unless you hire staff. Why? Because you're a one-man show, right? You bought your franchise, you're running your franchise, so it's either you or you and staff. So you've got to either just be on a limited income basis with just the amount of work that you can do, or you have to go out and hire what kind of staff? Admin staff to do that work that you don't want to do, to get yourself out into the marketplace so that you can sell more, market more, or you need to hire sales staff so that they can go out and sell and market more while you do the admin work. So my conclusion on this is you must have a substantial amount of time. And the reason why you have to have a substantial amount of time is because if you're going to spend $12,000 to $20,000 buying a franchise, that's got to pretty much be a full-time job for you to be able to recoup your investment. And you have to obviously have the money to invest. And the franchisor, in other words, the person that you're buying the franchise or the company you're buying the franchise from, they must train you on how to market and sell against the competition. So that's the second option. The third option is an agency. This is the option that we chose. ERA Credit Services, my company, is an independent agent. It's a low startup cost. It's less than $500, and that includes training. That includes your website, includes the technology for your clients to log in and see reports on their credit restoration progress. It includes admin staff that does all the work for you. And it includes marketing materials, all kinds of startup help for you to get your business going for less than $500. Training. The parent company, they've satisfied all the state and federal requirements. You don't have to worry about whether you're in Virginia, Maine, California, Florida. It doesn't matter what state you're in. All the federal and state requirements have been satisfied. You don't need bond issues and things like that. And we can charge upfront fees. So now you can get your money now. You can get your money upfront from a customer because the company that we're affiliated with is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and it is exempt from that law, that CROA law, Credit Restoration Organizations Act, that I told you at the beginning of this video. They provide a website, marketing materials, training materials, all the admin as I shared. Their training includes, yes, sales and marketing. So if your sales and marketing skills as it relates to credit repair isn't quite up to snuff, they're going to teach you that. And you've got the ability, and this is the key right here. Because if it stopped right there, then you would still have a limited income potential. Why? Because there's only so many hours in a day. But with an agency, you have the ability to add multiple agencies in your home area, in your region, and across the country, which is going to provide unlimited income potential along with a residual income component. That is the most valuable thing I just told you throughout the course of this video, is the ability to add multiple agencies providing unlimited income potential along with a residual income component. That means you can build a very successful credit restoration business in your local area. You can sell credit restoration yourself all over the country in all 50 states because all those state requirements have been satisfied. But you also have the ability to add multiple agencies in your area, in your region, in your state, and around the country, and have other agencies producing credit restoration sales. And you get not only a residual income component on that, but you earn income on those credit restoration sales. And you have no staff needed. It can be you working your business in your local area on a very, very part-time basis, earning just maybe a $500-600 a month. So maybe that's going to be what you decide to do because you like your full-time job, or you're stuck in your full-time job right now until you can build a credit restoration business on a part-time basis, and then you can move into full-time. But on a part-time basis, you can start this business for less than $500. You can start building a monthly income, building up your business, and then move into it more on a full-time basis. So this, in my conclusion, this is the lowest risk option, providing potentially the highest reward. It also provides the ability to start making sales and earning income quicker. So if you're interested in finding out how to become an independent agent, part-time or full-time, how to develop a full-time significant money opportunity, income opportunity through credit restoration, and with the residual income component, and with the component of having other agencies out there producing sales and you earning income on that production, then email me, Dale@eracreditservices.com. Visit our website at www.eracreditservices.com and click on the business opportunity tab. You can read all about this independent agency, as well as there's some videos, a detailed corporate overview, and a video called The 4 Steps to Getting Started, so you can see how to get started in our business. Or you can just call me directly at 619-252-9670. I hope this information was helpful for you. Again, I'm not trying to convince everybody on our business model. Those other 2 business models can be successful, but there's limitations, and you need to know what those limitations are, and you need to know what kind of time investment and money investment you have to be able to do those other business models. So if this makes sense to you, give me a call, visit our website, send me an email. Again, I hope this information was extremely helpful for you.